All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how Yahweh has always wanted the Israelites to keep the laws, right? I'm just going to start at Psalm 78 and verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children. So Yahweh didn't want us to only just keep the laws for ourselves, right? He wanted our children, or us to teach the laws to our children as well, so that the law could continually flow in our nation, so that we could continually receive the blessings. Verse 6, that the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. So it's meant to be a continuous cycle of the Israelites teaching the laws, and then teaching their children the laws, and following the laws themselves, and teaching their children to their laws, and making sure that their children learn to teach them to their children. So that and then that cycle will continue, and the Israelites would continually keep the law, right? Yet somewhere along the lines, Christianity has came along and made out as though the laws of Yahweh are done away with. But I'm going to prove that that's not true. Verse 7, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. So it was always about the commandments. Verse 8, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God. So our forefathers sinned, and that's what caused us to fall away from the kingdom. But guess what? We sinned as well. So there's not been a generation that's never sinned. There's every single generation has always sinned. But some people of the previous generations was of the remnant of the elect, so they fulfilled the sin offerings that would have been done, the sacrificial offerings for sins. But now it's about Yahweh Shai, right? But every single nation, every single one person from our nation has always sinned, and Yahweh Shai is the only Israelite to never sin. And I'm going to go to this and show that cycle of keeping the laws is going to be fulfilled in the kingdom, because we're not going to have to teach another Israelite the law. Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 10. For this is the covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Right? So in that time, Yahweh is going to make the next generation know to keep his laws. Right? Whereas in the old way, it was that we had to teach our children to keep the laws. But in the new way, under the new covenant, Yahweh is going to make every single Israelite be born knowing to keep the commandments. Every single Israelite, from the least Israelite to the greatest Israelite, is going to be born knowing to keep the commandments, man. Right? And that's the end of the lesson. All these people saying that the laws are going to waive, they don't know what they're talking about, man. The laws are written within the new covenant that we're going to keep them perfectly. The law is part of the new covenant. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.